We back. Act 2 the podcast, episode 7. Thank y'all out there for all the likes, subscriptions. Appreciate it. Views, all that. We appreciate the interest and just hearing what we got to say. We just having a conversation that we want to have, and we appreciate people who can gain something out of our insight and tune in and watch us. So humbly thank you. Appreciate it. Back again with my guest co-host, my beautiful wife, T. She back again.
Hi.
Say hi to the people again.
Hi, people. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your show again today.
Appreciate it. That sounds so phony. No, seriously, it did. It sounds so phony.
I was trying to sound like a TV person.
This isn't TV.
Whatever. Hello. Hey, Bo. Hey, Bo.
How you doing?
Can I say something? I like what you just said.
What?
When you said, we're just having a conversation and we give our input because, like, it ain't like we on here trying to be like self-help coaches or tell people. But no, I like that you said that because, you get some people like, who they, not just us, but they may say about who they think they are. Tell people how to live. And that definitely ain't what we're trying to do.
Nobody think. I was just saying that just to say it because I felt it. I don't give a shit what nobody think.
I'm just saying, did you miss that part? I like the fact that you said that because that's how I feel. We not trying to tell nobody else how to live their life. We're talking about how we live our life and giving our input. So I like that. That was all I was saying. Chill, calm down. Okay, sorry.
One thing you can't do on this show is interrupt the host.
Said, can I say something?
Again, you're interrupting the host now. You're getting a little flagrant. Reel it back.
This is your show. I'm just a guest. Thank you for allowing me to be here today.
Exactly. And every week you act like you want to move further and further away from the permanent spot with that lip.
Yeah, you laughed at your own joke.
This wasn't a joke. Wow and woe of the week.
So
what you got?
So can you go first? Because I don't want to steal your thunder, and I think my wow is going to be your wow. So I want to.
I doubt it.
Okay, so you want me to go first?
I doubt if your wow is my wow.
Okay, my wow is you. I'm so proud of you and just the bravery that you encourage, that you show. Act 2 is all about, even though we haven't gotten too in depth into what your history was.
Later episodes.
Yeah. But Act 2 is about the second part of your life that you've been granted through God's grace and mercy to come out of your past, move into your future. And there was a piece of that puzzle that was missing. And now you were brave. I don't know if you want me to say it.
No.
Okay. But it was a piece of that puzzle that was missing that you just had to close the door. And it really took a lot of bravery because it could have changed the direction of our life, depending on what the result was. And I've like we talked about just your overall situation. I've never been the one to say you need to do this or to put a timeline on things or to give you ultimatums on things, because even though I'm part of your life and things that happen to you impact me because I ain't going nowhere, it's also your decision and you're directly impacted. So I'm just that was just a wow moment for me. Last week when you said my wow moment was a surprise, you gave me this surprise, and it was you taking that step to kind of close the circle on those things that you had to shut the door on from your former life and step into in Act 2.
We'll get into those things in later episodes.
Yeah. So that was my wow.
In the future to come. Don't want to go too deep into that, but because we just knew it's our 7th episode. We live our truths here, and we will get into that. But we want to get to know y'all a little bit first. Get y'all to know us.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Tell them all our business. But that was my wow. Just you never cease to amaze me with just your courage and you stepping up and being the man that you are. And I'm happy that you're my man, that you're my husband. So I'm proud of you. Your hair not gonna fit through the door and keep blowing up like that. All right. My woe of the week. You know, we had a good week, but I will say my woe hit me today. You know, those who are my friends on Facebook know that I talk about my OBS. That's my 8-year-old niece. And I have a special connection with all my kids, but that's my baby. And she has her iPod.
That's because she fucked up.
She has her iPod where she can text and FaceTime. And so it's not a phone where she can call people, but she can text and FaceTime people. And she literally texts me all day long, every day. Yesterday, she texted me at 5:47, said, "Good morning, I'll call you when I get to daycare." Like, girl. Anyway, she little flip at the lip this morning with her mom. And she got her iPod taken. And her mom told her that if she doesn't, I hate when parents do stuff that it's going to make kids cry. And it's like, if you don't stop crying, you're going to get further punishment. Like, just let them calm down in their own time.
You can't tell people how to parent.
No, I said I hate it. I didn't tell nobody how to parent. Nevertheless, she kept crying. So then her iPod is taken for the week. And I missed her harassing me today. So that was my woe. Like, but I don't tell people how to parent. I respect. I hope Erica changes her mind in a couple days. But I believe punishment is warranted. You can't be flip at the lip.
Get over. You can't be flipping.
Yeah, you can't be flip at the lip. I love the kids. I don't tolerate ungratefulness, and I don't tolerate disrespect. So
then she got to sit the punishment.
Yeah, she just. I'm just saying. I'm hoping that it's not a whole week. I miss her.
That's the punishment.
Because that's my boo. So that was my woe that just hit me today. But overall, it was a good week. But I did miss my OBS today. Shout out OBS. Free OBS. As we got put up everywhere. Free OBS.
We're not going on no rally to free OBS.
I just stand outside of her house with a poster. Free Aubrey-licious. Free Aubrey-licious.
No, wheel it back a little bit.
Okay.
We're not freeing Aubrey.
All right, so what was your wow and woe of the week? What was your wow? What wowed you?
Weed legal in Jersey now.
Ah.
That's wowed me.
So, can we give a disclaimer here?
Hold on. Weed legal in Jersey now. That was my wow. I'm talking.
Mm-hmm.
I read the whole article. As of yesterday, can't get locked up with weed no more, even if you get caught. And what was fucked up about it is, remember when they had it on the back of the ballot?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, we voted for that.
When we voted for it, well, since then till yesterday, they locked up 2,000 people for weed. And Governor Murphy said that's a no-go. All them people getting drug court or remanded to a program, but they're not going to jail. And as of right now, no more arrests for weed in Jersey. It's legal.
That's a good thing. My disclaimer was going to be, your weed that you smoke on the show has always been legal because it's medicinal.
I got a medical card.
Yeah, so it's not like you were sitting here smoking illegal weed.
No, I smoke legal weed, 31%, highest grade.
Not like that cookie though. But we ain't gonna talk about the cookie.
Not the cookie.
Not like that.
No disclaimers about the cookie.
No cookie.
My woe was Dun,
dun, dun, dun.
I would have to say I don't have no woe this week.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't have no woe this week.
Top. That's good.
I was trying to sit and not make up, but think of something like minute that happened. But if I can't remember, then fuck it. Ain't no woe. Yeah. That's a good thing.
That is a good thing. And we know that it's not a reflection of everybody's week. Some people have endured some hardships this week. So they're in our thoughts and prayers. But thank God, that wasn't our story. So I'm happy. I'm happy. I like when you have a good week.
Yeah, it was. It was an okay week. I lived another week, so that's always good. Always thankful for that. And no major woes.
Because you are black, bearded, and blessed. And who bought you that shirt?
That's all I do. So what's on your mind? You got something on your mind?
You know what? It's so weird that you say that. No, I always, babe, this is like we always talk about stuff. And
okay, so
you know what hit me today? So it was a couple of things, I talked to you about, and
this might lead into what I wanted to talk about because we entwine like that. But go ahead.
So, and I don't want to give. I always say I don't want to give too many details, and I don't want to sound like we holding back. Yeah, it's not that I'm not comfortable, but I never want to put somebody else in a position. You never know who may see this.
Definitely.
So, my hard work at work was recognized today, and it just made me feel good. Like I take my job serious. That's just it. I make sure that any position that I have, if it's my job, I'm not gonna let anything affect my paycheck. And not only that, I want to do a good job. I have a very intense job. Long days. Some days I know longer than you would like on a lot of days. But I just take my job serious, and that some days I'm stressed out because it's a lot. But then today, and it wasn't like no award or anything like that, but it was just something that was said to me in a nice gesture that was sort of like validation, like, damn, like you've been tired, stressed, and it just felt good. And what it made me reflect on was, this is 2021. 10 years ago was when I left my old job after being there for 9 years.
You had a couple old jobs.
The job that I was at for 9 years is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Is when I left there, and we know the circumstances under which I left, where...
Bully.
Don't do that.
What?
No, I'm serious. This is serious.
All right, go ahead.
I was accused of bullying somebody. Now, anybody who's watching this show who knows me, Natasha, knows that is so far out of my character. I don't like that you're making a joke about this.
I'm not making a joke. I'm listening to you, babe.
That's so far out of my character. And I'm not going to even dwell on that portion of it, because I thought about this too. I came to a point in my life where I forgive her. And you say I have a problem with forgiveness. And I'm going to tell you why. Because now, 10 years later, I have a better understanding of mental health issues. At that moment, it was, and don't get me wrong, I never seen her, and I don't know if I seen her, if it will bring back up some feelings. I don't excuse her for what she did, but I forgive her. And that's just it. Like, we could never be friends. We don't need to have no conversation. But I forgive her in that moment. But I say all this to say what it made me realize in today is that at that time, before protecting your peace was like the quote of the day on social media, I stepped away from that job to protect my peace. One, it was horrible going into a place where literally being interrogated, to prove to people that you didn't do this thing that they said you did, and in fear of, I worked so hard to get to this place. I was making good money.
That's not really
and no, I'm not saying it, but just the fear of being fired or just being held back. And I realized some other people who were involved stayed and they weren't held back, and that's fine. Like, it worked out for them. But it just made me think that God had a different path for me. So in that moment, me deciding to separate myself from that job, protect my peace, which again wasn't in my head at that time, but in hindsight, that's what I was doing. Having a discussion with you because I had to take a $8,000 pay cut, which was, that was pretty steep at the time.
I had to carry you.
But just thinking from that moment in 10 years, and I know we don't talk about money as far as dollars and cents, but when I think about taking, $8,000 pay cut, that was like taking 10 steps backwards, and now I've come 50 steps forward. It just it was a moment of gratitude that I had today, like literally almost tripled my salary since that $8,000 pay cut. And the progression that I've made in my career, the level in my career that I'm at. And I literally stepped into a new job where it was like I wasn't in the industry that I am now. And it just was a moment of gratitude and a moment of reflection that made me think, like, sometimes God makes us uncomfortable to push us out of a situation because he has something bigger and better for us on the other side of that discomfort. And it was a big step, and I appreciate you for supporting me do that, because not that you would have been like, no, you gotta stay there, but you could have been like, yo, like, You about to cut our money short. What's up?
Well, I ain't want you to go to jail or nothing for bullying, so.
But that was something that I thought about today. And I know so many people are in situations and they stay because, like, people, what's the saying? The devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. And people are afraid to take that leap to do something else, to make a change, and thinking about you taking that, making a step that you did that could have changed the direction of your career, or it could have took you a couple steps back before you went forward. And it just was a moment. It kind of came full circle. Is that how you say it? I always say sayings wrong. Yeah, but it was like a full circle moment to think, like, me being stressed, working late up here all the time, but then having that sort of like pat on the back to let me know my work is being recognized, and like from people that I don't even know, like who is that saying it. Though? An atta girl, but it was words of affirmation.
Which is an atta girl.
But it was like a full circle moment that was like, speeding down our street like that.
Sorry about that.
We live in a nice residential area.
But I'm proud of you. Yeah, who had a little big though, but who had might get to the door. But
that wasn't an ego moment.
No, I'm proud of you. You did a whole lot. You took a whole lot of steps. You gave me my props. I gave you yours. But that's what I wanted to segue into, and the conversation might get a little bit more serious. Not much, but is what do you think about forgiveness?
Woo!
So, and I got some questions surrounding it, so it's not so broad, but like when you hear the word forgiveness, like what do you immediately think? Is it something you embrace, or is it something you turn away from? And let's not forget who you're talking to. Yeah,
because you know me best. And it was something that, in just our conversation this week that you said. And not that it bothered me, because it wasn't necessarily negative. It was real. And it kind of has been playing in my head because you know that I have trouble with forgiving people. So your first question, what comes to my mind? I always think, and this might sound crazy to some people, I do not want to die in the state that I currently am as it relates to forgiveness, because I don't want that to be the reason that I go to hell, because I have a problem with forgiving people. And I know that's not how God wants us to be. I gotta stop talking with my hands. I realize I do that a lot.
So you don't want God to be like, turn your ass around.
Exactly. so I'm serious. When you say what comes to my mind about when I
that's
hear
what immediately comes to your mind.
Like, God help me, because
so what you're saying is you don't want to be judged for that.
Exactly. I don't want to be judged for that, and I want to find it in my heart to get to that place of being able to forgive. And you know why I think, because of what you said, it made me do some self-reflection. I'm not perfect by any means, of course. Nobody's perfect. But people that I love, people that I care about, even strangers, like, I don't do bad stuff to people. If I love you, I'm loyal. I'm honest. I don't do shady stuff to people. So I feel like with malicious intent, like, okay. Not to say that I haven't hurt somebody's feelings. I was going to say,
because you can't. Yeah. That's kind of broad to say, because you don't know how you might rub somebody.
Exactly. So you
think you lovable. I think you lovable, but everybody walking out on the planet might not think you lovable.
I accept that.
What I'm saying?
I accept that. So with malicious intent, I don't do anything bad to people. So I feel like if you do something wrong to me, And I may not like walk around bitter and angry and rah, rah, but this is what you said to me, that like, when I cut somebody off, like if I decide I'm not dealing with a person, I really do. Like, and I might forget that person exists. And I don't know if that's a good thing.
It's not. It's a bad thing. It ties into your not wanting to be confrontational. So you not suppress, because you can just like cut the tie, so it's not like it'll bother you, but you'll just
I disagree because I do confront the issue, and I don't want to go into any details, but I can think of a couple different people who I'm currently like they're not a part of my life, but I've confronted we talked about this on the last episode. Communication is key. So I don't think there's anybody in my life that I have cared about at one time that I've had that's not a part of my life and they don't know why. Mm-hmm. I think that's that's unfair.
That's good.
Yeah, I think in any relationship you have, if the relationship is being severed, and even if you cared about that person at one time, because sometimes it could be a miscommunication. So having that conversation is important. And at the end of it, you may have been right all along, and then you move accordingly in separating yourself from that person if that's what you deem necessary. So I don't think it's necessarily not wanting to be confrontational. But again, it comes back to I don't owe nobody nothing. And I'm not going to subject myself. If I can't trust you, I don't want you around me. And I don't like being around anybody that I feel like I have to damper who I am, or now, of course, if you're in a business setting, you don't just say anything out your face. But if it's in a casual setting, whether it's family, friends, I don't like being around anybody where I don't fully feel comfortable.
You telling me?
Yeah. I mean, I know, but you don't know. You're to a different, you don't feel, no, your issue is you don't feel comfortable around most people.
No, that's not my issue. And you're screaming at me too.
I'm not screaming. I'm just talking loud sometimes.
No, it's not. But go ahead, answer the question.
So that's my thing. So I don't like being around anybody who I don't feel comfortable around. If I feel like we having a conversation, but I gotta watch what I say, or I gotta leave parts out because she over there might go back and tell somebody what I said, or she over there might be I don't feel comfortable talking around her, then I don't want you around me. So if you crossed me, or if you've proven to be disloyal, or if you've done something disrespectful, then you're not going to be around me, or I'm not going to be around you. Let's just say that. So I think that's where it comes to cutting people off, and I'm able to do that and sleep good about it because I know that it's not me. Now, we know there's been maybe one situation with a friend where, you know, the situation happened, it was family related. And I did feel like, even though I didn't directly do it, I felt some guilt about how things had turned out. So in those situations, I wasn't comfortable with myself because I felt like I needed to address it. But if it's something that other people have done to me, I can sleep good at night and never talk to you again because that's not on me. But in terms of forgiveness,
I was going to say, can we just...
Yeah, that's something that I definitely have to work on, and I think I'm getting better, but I'm also a strong believer that forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation. So I can forgive you and still not deal with you, but I guess that's my problem. I have to remember to forgive you. Like, I might not talk to a person, it's not even so much that I haven't forgiven them, it's that, like, I don't even think about them. Or if I do think about them, I wish you well, but I still don't want you near me.
Yeah, that's not necessarily a good thing that you have a problem with forgiveness.
It's not. I'm not saying that it's a good thing.
So, do you think you believe in it, or is it just something that you wish you believed in? But you 40 years old. Like, you know, some people ain't gonna change.
Why you say that like I'm old?
The other day, you said the kids run amok, and then last night you said you was taken aback. So yeah, you old.
People say run amok. Don't y'all say like them kids out there running amok?
Not
or
in 2021.
Something shocks you like, whoo, I was taken aback by that.
No. That's old people's talk.
So
it's a yes or no answer.
So yes, I do believe in forgiveness.
Okay.
I do believe in forgiveness. Yes. It's just harder for me to forgive people depending on the situation. And I know it shouldn't be situational because God's forgiveness isn't situational.
Yeah, but you're not God and they not God. So I agree with you. It's nothing wrong with forgiveness being circumstantial because there's some things that's just unforgivable.
But again, I know this isn't a spiritual show, but in God's eyes, we are supposed to forgive, and that's how I live my life, and that's why I want to be able to forgive. But I some situations
that have 40 years not being able to.
Well, I mean, as a baby, I didn't know.
You forgave as a baby?
So maybe I spent 25 years.
You forgave as a baby?
Yeah, I forgave as a baby.
How do you know? What you forgive when you was a baby? Them not feeding you on time? Little spankings? Hand pops? You forgave as a baby?
I'm just saying, I want to be able to, and you're making me a little, I'm not going to cry on your show.
You better not cry.
But you're making me a little teary-eyed because, I don't know, there are some situations that I think about and it's like, I can't even fathom how to forgive.
So then I think that's the answer is, I think you believe in it, you don't know how, but it doesn't make you a bad person.
No,
it doesn't. It doesn't make you a bad person that you think of yourself that you're. And I agree with you. You're the nicest person I ever met. You're also the meanest person, but you're the nicest person I ever met. And
now, can you say I can't? Well, I don't agree, but can you say I can be the meanest person?
No, you don't interrupt the host. Okay. And I'm trying to get my thought out here. Okay. And when you interrupt me, I lose my thought.
My bad.
So chill. So where was I at?
You said I'm the nicest person you ever met.
You're the nicest person I ever met. You're the meanest person I ever met. But I get how you feel like, okay, I don't do nothing wrong to people. And if somebody do something wrong to me, it's up to me to decide whether I want you in my life or not. And that's nothing wrong with that. But it's just, I think you have a problem acknowledging that you probably don't believe in forgiveness.
But I do, because there are some people that I have forgiven for things that they've done. But then there are some people that I don't know how. So this is the thing. One, you said something about, I don't want you near me. That just because I don't want you near me doesn't mean that I don't forgive you. I may really forgive you, but I want you over there. Like, I want the best for you. I want you to win. I want you to be successful. I want you to be healthy. And God forbid if something happened to you, like, I might be sad. So I really do forgive you. I just don't want you near me. But then there's some people I just don't know how, because I feel like you can say you forgive people all you want, but you have to feel it in the inside. And there have been moments that I have thought to myself, people that have wronged me in the worst way or wronged my family in the worst way, I've prayed and cried and thought, okay, I'm there. Like, I can forgive them. And then something else happened and I feel that hatred in my heart. And it's like, no, I don't. Like, I'm fooling myself. No, I don't. I don't forgive them.
It's tough for me too. Yeah, it's tough for me too. I would like to think of myself as a forgiving person. But when I think about my life and who I come in contact with, I'm only forgiving to you. And I probably have the same problem. I like to think of myself as a forgiving person because of you. But I also think that I'm the heavyweight champion of holding grudges.
Do you think that's something like to hold your head on?
No, I'm just being honest.
Hang your head on.
I'm living my truth here.
Oh, no,
I'm not saying it like it's a notch in the belt. I'm just saying, like, I can understand where you come from, where it all depends on how bad you were hurt, what time in your life, what kind of pain it was that you don't get over it.
Yeah.
And I don't see nothing. I don't think it makes you a bad person. Do I think it's something you probably, if you want to be more forgiving, that we probably should work on, or I could work on? Yeah, but it's not nothing like I feel, and I believe in God. I think about, death more than I would like to. But I never think about, like, am I going to be judged for not forgiving people like you do? So that's weird to hear you say, like, that's the first thing you think about is, damn, am I going to be judged for this? This guy going to be like, turn your ass around.
Yeah, I hope my heart is there before Judgment Day, because this sounds weird, like, I don't know if it sounds a little vain, like, I feel like I don't want them to be the reason that I burn in hell. Like, I can do all the good things that I want in life. I can tell everybody about God that I meet. I can show people who God is through my actions. And I don't want in the end all that to be for naught because of those people that I haven't found it in my heart to. And I think I feel like I want to only for that reason. I don't know if I want to. I don't want to for them, and maybe that's part of it. I have to get there.
No, I think you're making it too complicated because, and even me in a sense, because forgiveness is supposed to be for you within. It's supposed to be something for you, and I think with some people, and maybe even yourself, you correlate forgiveness with being in front of somebody and saying, I forgive you. And it's not that. Like you can, like you said, you can be here sitting now and forgive a person and never ever see them again. But that's within the inside of you and your heart. Whether you say I'm putting this down and yeah, I might have a bad day here or two, but it'll never sink me like it did before. So I think that's what we do. We correlate the two and say, I think in my head when you forgive somebody, almost like you're saying I'm sorry or a thank you, like you got to be in front of them or it's got to be a dialogue with them. Like you could do that in your head in 2 seconds. You can forgive somebody if that's what's in your heart. That's what it's supposed to be about. So when we think about it the way we do, I think we're wrong in that sense, and we're just making it way more complicated than it has to be. Like you can sit on the edge of your bed, you can be on a toilet, you can sit right here and be like, okay, I really feel it in my heart. I'm gonna forget this person in my head and never even say nothing. I'm never even speak it out loud.
That
So
part I
that's
grasp.
within you, but it seems like just in the conversation that is correlated with I forgive you.
Not okay, so not really, but let me ask you this: do you feel like? Okay, let me preface this by saying you always tell me I feel like I have to understand a situation in order to do it or to accept it.
You do.
Okay, do you feel like in terms of forgiveness, you have to understand that person's actions to then be able to forgive them?
Not at all.
No, I'm not saying in general. Do you feel like that for yourself? Like, in order to forgive somebody, it has to like settle in your brain, and you have to think about it and be like,
No, because I'm the opposite of you. I'm not one of those people who has to understand why somebody did something or a person's problem for me to care about it. Like, that's something that we used to have in our relationship that we talked about before that used to work on. And I'm the total opposite of that. Like there's things in our relationship that we probably went through that, I've said, and I'm talking early in our relationship where it was like, I don't know why the hell she mad over that, but it looks like she's really mad. Like, like this is what is not a battle that I wanna fight. Like she looks like she's really mad. Do I know why or understand why? Fuck no. But it looks like I gotta concede to this. So yeah, I don't have to. You don't have to understand. You don't have to. You don't have to understand their actions or understand why, and that's your biggest hookup on stuff. Even when you're having a general conversation, or if I have a problem, it's like, well, why? And it's like, again, you're trying to understand why I feel the way I feel instead. Like if it's something simple, like a person saying they're offended by what you said, your brain, it calculates, well, I wouldn't be offended by that. And I'm trying to break it down why you're offended by that, where you're skipping over just, I'm sorry I offended you. Like that's how your brain works.
So I think for me, in terms of forgiveness, maybe that's where the barrier is one, some actions are, I feel like I just can't understand why you would do that. And maybe there really is no reasonable explanation because it's just something that shouldn't have been done. And then on the other side, I think, because like I said, in those situations where, somebody may have done something to me, or it may have been some conflict and it was confrontation and then we went our separate ways. Maybe there's some scenarios that I've never been able to confront. And I feel like I got to get it off my chest in order to then let it go. And maybe that'll be the moment when I can forgive. I don't know. I don't know, but it is a prayer of mine often that God helps me to reach that point, because again, I don't want to go to hell for other people.
Just know I love you.
I mean, it would be my fault, but
yeah, just know I love you, and it's easier than you think. And it's not like I'm Mr. Fucking Forgive, because sometimes I don't know how, and there's people in my life that I'm never going to forgive, and it's not going to make us a bad person. But don't think about it like God know your heart. He know your heart no matter what you've done or what you said. He know your heart. So if you know in your heart you are forgiving and you live life like you're a forgiving person, then I'm sure he understands why it stung so hard.
So, question. You said so. My position is I don't necessarily feel or just completely accept there are some people in my life that I will never forgive, because again, I hope at some point, through some way, there will be some kind of breakthrough, or
That's
maybe
your
I will.
optimism, though.
Maybe
I'm
so,
a realist, though.
but I'm saying for you, do you feel like you don't even want to attempt? You don't even want to be able to? You just have crossed it off like, nope, I'm never forgiving you.
Yeah,
is that how you feel?
And I know that, like, to you, that's it. You always do this to me because
I'm just asking because
you ask the question in a way where you make it sound like it's I ain't gonna go so far as to say unhuman, but you make it sound like it's like damn, like that's amazing to me that you can do that. Like you can just not interact or forgive somebody. Like, no, that's your optimism. For me, it's like, okay, you know, I've had enough of this hurt, this pain or whatever. I'm putting it down. And I look at things like I'm only 50% of a relationship. So I only can try but so hard. So if I feel like my wheels have spun, then yeah, I can do that. Yeah. And I'm again, that's not a quality that I'm hanging my hat on, but it's my truth. It's a quality that I have.
Do you feel like that's a defense mechanism now? Like you choose to say, okay, I'm building this wall or I'm shutting this door to protect yourself?
Yeah, but it's like now we get into a different comment. I only have a certain amount of space in my head. So I only allow a certain amount of things to infiltrate that space. And I don't like drama. So things that make me upset or things that don't make me smile or things that hurt, yeah, I try to move in a way in my life where I stay away from those things.
So essentially, you're just suppressing it.
No, I wouldn't say I'm suppressing it because
you're suppressing any feelings of wanting to forgive by just labeling it as I'm just putting you in that corner and I won't forgive so that you can move on.
Maybe that was strong for me to say I won't forgive. I just don't think about it.
See, and that's why I asked the question, because it was really strong for you to say that.
Yeah, now that it was strong to say that I consciously say to myself, I'm never forgiving you, because I don't.
Okay, but that's the clarification that I wanted.
I just don't.
It's not that it wasn't human.
But now that I say it a second time, okay, I can see that. You thinking, like, who the hell is this?
Damn, like,
he got ice water in his veins.
Yeah, it's like, wow, like. You were right. That was like a wow. I didn't know you felt like that. In your life,
you can't walk away from 30 seconds flat when you spot the heater in the corner.
But also, never say never. And I think that's part of it too. I don't want to. Yeah, I'm always optimistic, but I can't say like you. I mean, you changed it so you didn't really mean that you never will forgive. But I feel like never say never, because you'll have one of them breakthrough moments on you'll find yourself in a grocery store looking at a box of Uncle Ben's and start crying or something. Right, so that's what I mean. Like, you never know what may happen. And I don't want to feel like I'm never going to forgive. I will say I can't fathom. I don't know how it will ever happen, but I can't say it never will.
To your best attempt. And this is only 2 words. So just finish the problem in 2 words with your best attempt. Blank plus blank equals forgiveness.
that's like pretty deep to just think of on a whim. Blank plus blank equals forgiveness.
What do you think it looks like in 2 words? Just to I know it's probably more, you can go long, but just in that equation, the best two words to describe blank plus blank equals forgiveness. What does it look like? What do you think it entails for you to get to forgiveness?
Acceptance plus peace equals forgiveness.
That's awesome. Me too. That's awesome. You put some thought into that.
I did.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, you had my wheels spinning. That's how you say my wheels spinning.
Yeah. Well, you're not old. But yeah, if I had to answer that, I would say acceptance plus I don't know.
Surrender.
Does that mean I don't know what it looks like?
Yeah, maybe so. Well, no,
I don't
because
have a second word.
I don't think so. I think because you really have to think about it. Like, to you, what does that?
I agree that accepting something should be a part of forgiveness.
And surrendering
but if I had to
the
sum
feelings?
it up,
release, maybe acceptance plus release equals forgiveness.
that's low hanging fruit. I got to think of it.
Okay.
Acceptance plus
Just.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good one though.
Yeah,
that was a good equation. That was like a I need to write that on the end. I'm gonna write that on my whiteboard.
So without the obvious answer, and you know what I'm speaking about, who or what would you like to forgive in your life?
Wow. Wow. So that can get really deep because, part of it, I would like to forgive myself for some things that I've done.
Okay.
That some baggage that I carry and regret
Childhood
and things
trauma?
that I've done.
Trauma?
I was going to say more like teenage, not so much trauma, but like just things that I've done that I feel like, okay, it's okay. You've done those things. And,
Promiscuous?
Yeah, I guess some promiscuity part. Yeah, okay. played a part in it. Yeah, so definitely that. So who would I like to forgive? I'm thinking who would want to
Hold up real quick. Let me just ask a question. Do you find it hard to be transparent with me with that? Because you always go. It's like when we have conversations, when we have serious conversations, you serious. But your defense mechanism comes out in that, and you always smile. And I know that's when you're nervous and when you're scared, you laugh. And when we talk about
scared,
stuff, not scared, but
so
nervous.
We know, like, the people may not know that, like, our relationship started with us being friends. Like, I'm talking about when I was 18, 19. Like, you were like my big brother.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
You were.
Yeah, that's fucked up. Don't say that.
I mean, we ain't related, but you were like.
Still, it wasn't like your big brother.
You know how many relationships? That's why you can't have nobody to be like, "What's up, little sis?" Because that's how relationships, start to creep up. But I mean, like, we were friends. So in that, as a friend, my past. He knows, what a lot of things that some women in relationships may not tell their partners about their past and a promiscuous.
You getting past the question now?
No, I'm giving the people some insight.
Okay.
A lot of things that people may not divulge to their partners about their past and about promiscuous behavior. He knows about me because we were friends first. It made those conversations a little difficult in the beginning because he knew things that had we not been friends, I probably would have never told him. But I told him as my friend before you became my boyfriend. So moving fast forwarding, that's really never a conversation that we have because, like, I think like most men are with their spouses. Like, you don't want to. I mean, we may talk about your past and things that you've done, or we look at girls and be like, "Oh, boo, look at her, she cute, she got a big butt." Or I'll be like, "Babe, look at her, she's sexy." But as a man, you don't want to think about me with
No.
so yes, talking about my past it doesn't make me uncomfortable because but it's just not anything that we ever discuss. Like, we know it's there, it happened, move on. So no, I'm not. It doesn't make me afraid.
You would like to forgive yourself for that.
Yeah, that is something that I would like to forgive myself for, because I think sometimes I
you harping on afraid too. I didn't mean scared like I was gonna beat
I
you.
know.
Like that. I just meant like nervous. God damn.
It's just a conversation that we never had.
Right.
So I guess that's that. And you even saying it, I think that was a good thing, because that's not something that we ever discussed. But yeah, so that's something, because I think in that it was parts of myself that I allowed to trickle down to my sisters and them, knowing certain things. And we kind of had this conversation. I think you had separated yourself, but like when we had our family meeting last week or whatever, my sisters, we just had a conversation, and it let me know that how my behavior impacted them. And it wasn't like anything horrible, but yeah, so when you say who would I like to forgive, I would like to forgive myself.
Oh.
I would like to, because I do feel like there's still some room, and this is like really a moment of like real honesty. Like, I would like to forgive my mom for just some things that I feel like I've held against her, as far as our relationship go. And I think for the most part I have, but then
when you say held against her, almost that kind of implies that you're wrong. So when you talk about stuff
I
like
don't
that,
say,
hold on. When you talk about stuff like that, like is it warranted? That's the question. So if you're gonna be truthful, is it warranted, or did you just wake up and just say, I'm gonna be mean and hold some stuff against you?
No, and that's why I said forgive her, because it's things that she may have done or not done, and held it. I'm not saying I held it against her wrongly, as if she didn't do those things.
But you didn't say that at first.
Okay, so I would like to forgive her, or move further in my forgiveness of her for those things, because even though I may feel like I have forgiven her and I'm past it, things may creep up, and something will click in your head that'll let you know you really haven't forgiven this person, because you wouldn't be having these negative thoughts or feelings about. Yeah, exact. That's the word. You're still triggered by something. So I would like to forgive her. And I'm okay with being transparent, and we mentioned before about sexual abuse or whatever, and the person who...
We don't have to go there.
No, we don't have to go there, but I think that would be like the only other people in my life who I would feel like I want to forgive. I don't really...
But I wanted you to think harder. That's why I said not the obvious. Are you listening to me?
I did hear you.
Okay.
But it ain't many other people who...
Then just say that.
I, feel like I need to... I have forgiven the person that accused me of bullying. I really have. I thought about that in my heart today, and it was like, what would let me know that I forgave her?
What if...
I feel compassion.
What if you actually, like we just said in the beginning, everybody don't like you. I know that might be hard for you to accept, but everybody don't like you. Okay. So what if she was offended by something you said? Or what if she had low self-esteem and did feel bullied by you? Or because you didn't speak every day, like some people feel bullied by stuff like that. So when you say, again, you're trying to understand why you feel bullied, instead of just being like your reaction is like, that ain't me, bullshit.
No.
F that ain't me. Instead of saying, you know what? Let me try to understand why she feel bullied.
No, I don't. No. What I'm saying is, I hear what you're saying, and there are some situations that may warrant that type of consideration, where you have to look at the situation. But the
in your heart of hearts,
No, I know that the events that were mentioned or the things that were said to have happened were outright lies. It wasn't like, this could have been mistaken to be something else, or, oh, I walked by and I didn't speak, and like, it was clearly outright lies. So I'm okay in accepting, like, okay, maybe my actions or the words that I said or something that I did,
Or
it was didn't do was misinterpreted and it hurt somebody's feelings. It's 10 years later. I don't have a reason to lie. Like I didn't have a problem with the girl. So it was just the narrative that was given and the facts that were stated, because you brought it back up. And I don't appreciate you making a joke of it. Let's just say this outright.
What if I said you bullied me?
That's BS.
What do you mean? I could say you wouldn't take my feelings into consideration.
Serious. Like, there are some people that bully people, and the
world needs bullies.
There are some people that bully people, and
you believe what you believe. I believe what I believe.
Well, let me finish. Okay. There are some people that bully people. There are children who have committed suicide because of being bullied. However, I do think that in this world there has been, and I'm stealing this label because I heard somebody else say it, the pussification of America, where people are too soft. Using your example, too sensitive, soft, whatever you want to call it. Using your example, if I come into work every day and I speak to somebody, I come in, hey, how you doing? Hey, good morning. Hey, happy Friday. And one day I walk in, or 2 days I walk in and I don't speak, and that automatically translate to me bullying you, that's BS. Mm-hmm. I do believe people do bully people. People do things to people that they shouldn't do. Yes, that happens. But that in of itself is not bullying. You don't know what could be on my mind when I'm walking.
Under a category of, like, you're mind bullying. And I'm not saying I agree. I try to understand shit when they make these terms up. And I think that they put that under the category of, if you walk in and say, hey, good morning, hey, good morning, hey, good morning, you could be making this person's day. Because you say good morning to them. You're the popular girl at work. You might not understand it, but this is the scenario. You're the popular girl at work. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Everybody say hi to you. And then one morning, you don't say good morning. And for some odd reason, she feels like, damn, what I do? Like, she ain't say hi to me? Like, that's messed. Like, it's fucked up to feel like that. That's low self-esteem. That's like being
I'm responsible. So now I'm being bullied into having to speak to somebody. I could walk in this morning, and let's just say it's a person in a difference. I could have walked in this morning, and I could be leaving the hospital where my child is in the hospital. Exactly. I could be in a domestic violence situation where I came to work
running late
after getting my ass beat the night before. My mom could, like, anything could be going on in my life. I could be running late. I could be having money, like anything.
Your period could be on. It could be anything wrong with you.
And because I didn't speak, then that's mind bullying. That's BS. And I know within the mental health industry, corporations have to be so sensitive because they can't face any lawsuits, or they can't have anybody saying the company allowed this sort of environment to go on, and I felt unsafe and all of this. I get all that from an HR standpoint, but from a human perspective, you got to really look at the facts. Like, okay, this person didn't speak to you. Did they call you a name? Did they jump at you? Did they threaten you?
Those are the people that never been bullied or never been in a confrontational situation, and they 30 years old. And a comedian had a joke about it one time, like, if you've never been bullied and then one day your boss don't say good morning to you, you're in the bathroom crying because you upset that you think somebody don't like you. Like, you have to just learn how to shrug shit off.
And you know what? I think, and this is really crazy when you think about it, that situation, and after today, I don't never want to talk about this again. But I think that situation,
I feel bullied right now.
No, it really gave me a little bit of PTSD, and because of that situation, and this is a couple different factors. I'm 10 years older. Life is different. People grow, people mature, people change. But that situation changed me in ways. You're
No,
laughing,
I'm
but
not
I'm
making
serious.
fun of it because I know you're so serious.
It changed me in ways that I don't know if I would have changed, and it's not a good thing or a bad thing, but I became much more. I think I was such a more friendly person before then. I become much more guarded, especially in work environments. I don't really want to, like, there's a couple people in the, between the 3 jobs that I've had since that time that I've met where it's like, okay, I consider this person a friend, or maybe somebody, even if I'm no longer there, I talk to them outside of work. But my personality in the workplace, well, my personality is who it is. I'm going to be me, but I don't let everybody see that. And I'm much more guarded because of that. Like, so when you look at stuff like that, yes, bullying is serious, but people also have to realize the impacts of what happened when you accuse people of stuff that they didn't do. That's what they say. I could have sued for a what do you call it? An assassination of my character.
Whoa.
I'm serious.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I could have sued for assassination of character. She was defaming my character.
But we live in Jersey, babe. We don't sue.
I could have. Now that I think about it, they allowed me to be in an environment.
Yeah, you getting
where,
hollering again.
Because I told you I got PTSD, and you should have never brought this up. So it's making me relive all these feelings. I told you I forgave that girl.
Somebody look. This is her forgiveness. This is her forgiveness. Who wants to be forgiven by her?
Let me just forgive her and move on.
Get the fuck out of here. Nobody wants to be forgiven by you. She got a problem. That's what we come to. The conclusion of the show is that my baby got real problem with forgiveness.
Well,
we're
2 peas in a pod.
Okay, well, you can have your thoughts when I get done mine.
Oh.
My thoughts is she got a real problem with forgiveness. It don't make her a bad person. I'm going to pray for her. I still love her. But she should accept that she ain't that forgiving. Not unless it's me. But if you ain't me, then she probably not going to forgive you.
Just don't do me dirty. Like, I don't do nobody dirty. Like, and if I don't bother you, don't bother me. Like, you know how much
You're a little bit like me.
And you know what? And it's so weird because...
And you used to hate on me in the beginning like a motherfucker. You got to be more social. You got to talk to people. You got to do this. And now you got to sit me with people's fucking boyfriends and shit and husbands. It's like, I don't even fucking know this dude.
People are weird, though.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. People weird. I don't like small talk.
But that's the thing. People are weird, and I've learned that. And I've learned to... It's not about, like, it's discretion and discernment. Like, you just can't, I don't know, it's just people.
You sit down with some people and in 2 minutes they telling you their life story.
Yeah.
You know, we on the outs, you know, I was fucking this other girl, you know, I was doing this, you know, we ain't, I was like, man, what, I don't even know you, man. Like this shit.
I can't wait till we turn the camera off so you can remind me who was this.
That's not cool.
Why you ain't tell me this so I could have... Was the person my friend?
No.
Oh.
It's good conversation, though.
But I wouldn't tell anybody.
But, so that's what we come to the conclusion with. We both got problems with forgiveness. So
pray for us.
Pray for us.
I don't want to go to hell.
We don't fuck with nobody, so...
Don't say that.
Mess with nobody. We don't fuck with
nobody. Okay. Yeah, we don't mess with nobody. I thought you were saying we don't F with nobody, like we not cool.
No.
Okay.
Say we don't bother anybody.
Yeah. Okay.
We don't bother people, so don't bother us.
But if I can say it at the end.
No, you can't, because you screwed it up last week. Thank everybody out there for all the likes, all the subscriptions, all the comments. Leave some comments to show topics. We still want to see what y'all think out there on y'all mind. Y'all might have something on your mind that y'all might want to hear our perspective on. So throw some show topics in the comments. That would be great. We'll look them over and talk about the best ones. And we won't tell who they came from or who it pertained to. But you just hear a different perspective from a female, from a male. Could be something to help you, help your relationship, help life. So do that. That could be real helpful. Thank y'all. We're humble.
Yeah, thank you for all of your support. You know, it still humbles me and warms my heart when I'm talking to people, or just like, you know, randomly I might be commenting on something on social media or something, and they'll respond like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Oh, by the way, I love the podcast, or oh, by the way, that was so fun. And I'm like, oh, wow, like, I didn't know you were watching, because, you know, some of y'all watch and I don't know until you tell me, and it just, I'm just appreciative. And like literally, it's somebody catches me by surprise like 2 or 3 times a week when they just randomly throw it out there. So I appreciate it. I'm so humble because we don't know everybody that watches. Like YouTube doesn't tell you who watch. I think it just like shows you a number, but I'm extremely grateful. Share if you like it, even if you know a little shy, you don't want to leave a comment. Share it with your friend. Tell a friend to watch it. Tell your, you know, your cousins, your neighbors, or whatever. We appreciate all of the support, and free ALBs.
If you fuck with us, you fuck with us. If you don't, you should.